You wake up before sunrise while everyone else sleeps in. You eat your eggs with a pinch of salt and a slice of bread. Nothing fancy. You say no to cookies and ice cream, to hanging out when you should be working. You work until well past sunset while your peers are at parties or playing video games. They all think you're too serious or just wasting your time. Fast forward a few years. You're in shape, successful in your business, a published writer, a renowned artist. People finally notice you. They ask, how did you get so fit? How did you make all that money? How did you publish a book? And you smile knowing that every step of the way you were overlooked, underestimated, forgotten. Your discipline was invisible, but your results were undeniable. I've noticed this everywhere. It seems like success is this bright spotlight that reveals what was previously hidden. It makes me wonder, are we too busy basking in the glow of success to recognize the quiet work that made it possible? The story I'm about to tell perfectly illustrates this idea. It's the story of the boy who went unnoticed until his art became famous. Let's jump right into it. The first chapter is titled, The Boy Who Saw Colors Differently. Our story starts in a little town where everyone seemed to live their lives on the same tune. There was no hint of originality, no splash of creativity. Everyone worked jobs they didn't love, ate bland food, wore similar clothes. Their houses were identical boxes. Their days were filled with routines. And when Friday nights rolled around, they packed their cares away for a night of predictable fun. It was almost like everyone was afraid of standing out. In the middle of this monochromatic world lived a boy. His name was Theo. Now, Theo wasn't like most kids. You couldn't fit him into any box. He saw colors where others saw gray, shapes where others saw boredom. While other children played by the rules, he made his own. But this difference of his set him apart, which is why the other kids teased him. They called him weird, strange, an outcast. But there was one thing that mattered more to Theo than fitting in. He loved drawing. It wasn't just a hobby for him. It was an obsession. When he picked up a pencil, he could bring life to paper. He could turn blank canvases into landscapes that seemed real. His drawings weren't just pretty pictures. They were stories without words. Now, Theo was different, not only because of his drawings, but also because of his routine. While other kids were out playing, Theo was in his room with a pencil and a pad of watercolor paper, creating worlds that most kids would never understand. He was disciplined, dedicated, and totally alone. Most days he felt misunderstood, even by his parents. They worried about him. Why wasn't he like other kids? Why did he spend so much time drawing? Didn't he have anything better to do? Still, Theo kept drawing. Years went by. Theo grew up and so did his talent. He filled hundreds of sketchbooks, each one a testament to his dedication. He saved money from his part-time job to buy better supplies, to learn new techniques, to hone his skills. Even though no one praised his work, no one recognized his talent, Theo kept going. One day, everything changed. A famous artist came to the city. She was looking for fresh talent, something different to exhibit in her gallery. By chance, she saw one of Theo's drawings on a shop window. She liked it. So she went to the store. The owner knew Theo and he introduced them. Theo was nervous, but the famous artist saw something in his work, something raw, something unique. She offered him a deal. If he was willing to move to the city, she would help him become famous. And that's how Theo left his old life behind. He moved to the city, opened a studio, and started painting. The famous artist mentored him, guided him, promoted him. In a few years, he became famous, one of the most sought-after artists in the world. People from all over came to his exhibitions. They marveled at his work, analyzed his techniques, bought his paintings for thousands. Theo was no longer the strange boy from a small town. He was a celebrity. Now, what's interesting is how people reacted to Theo's success. Suddenly, everyone wanted to be his friend. They praised his work, admired his talent, envied his success. Those same kids who had mocked him for drawing now wanted to be his assistant. The people who had ignored his work were now calling him a genius. His parents, who had worried about him, now beamed with pride. They told everyone about his success, about how talented he was. But here's the twist. Theo hadn't changed. He was still the same boy who loved to draw, the same boy who had faced years of mockery and discouragement. Nothing had changed except that his work had gained appreciation. All those years of ridicule and isolation had vanished into thin air. No one remembered them. And then there's Theo. Every day he picks up a pencil and fills his sketchbook, just like he did when no one was watching. He has found his audience, but his discipline remains unchanged. This story illustrates a powerful truth. We tend to recognize excellence only when it shines through. We celebrate achievements, applaud accolades, marvel at milestones. But what we don't see is the silent, unseen work that makes those triumphs possible. Do you remember those times when you put in the work, endured the struggles, sacrificed the pleasures, hoping for a moment of recognition, a word of praise, a pat on the back, and yet you received none of these things? Instead, you were met with indifference, ignorance, or maybe even ridicule. Have you ever wondered where you stand? Whether your efforts are worthwhile? Whether your sacrifices will ever pay off? Let me share another quote with you. Most people want to go fast. Very few are willing to prepare for speed. You see, preparing for speed is not a glamorous task. It's not something you hear many people talk about. Yet it's a crucial element in achieving success. Just think about athletes who win Olympic medals. Do you think they just turn up on the day and expect to win? Of course not. Behind every medal is years of training, countless hours spent honing their skills, pushing their bodies to the limit. These athletes prepare for years before they even qualify to compete. And even then, competition is fierce. Yet despite all the hard work and the uncertainty, they remain dedicated. Similarly, in the realm of academics, students who excel have likely spent countless hours poring over books, solving problems, experimenting in labs. Their success is not accidental. It's the result of focused preparation. Furthermore, successful entrepreneurs are not overnight sensations. They've spent years sharpening their business skills, learning from mentors, networking, building their expertise. It's not uncommon for entrepreneurs to launch several unsuccessful ventures before hitting it big. But they don't give up. They learn from their failures and keep moving forward. What's common among these individuals is their willingness to embrace the mundane, the boring, and sometimes thankless tasks required to achieve their goals. This is the essence of preparation for speed. It's about putting in the work when no one is watching, enduring the struggles when there's no applause, honing your skills when there's no recognition. But here's the beautiful part. When you prepare for speed, when you're willing to put in the work, the success, when it comes, is incredibly fulfilling. It's not just because of the external rewards, but mainly because of the sense of personal satisfaction that comes from knowing you've earned it. You've put in the hours, faced the challenges, and come out stronger on the other side. So I encourage you to find joy in the journey, to embrace the process, to relish in the daily grind of preparing for your moment to shine. After all, it's not the destination, but the journey that truly counts. Here's my question for you. Think about a time when you worked hard, faced challenges, and maybe even endured some ridicule, but eventually achieved a significant milestone. Can you recall that feeling of triumph when your efforts finally paid off? What did it mean to you? What did it teach you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe and stay tuned for more stories like this one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.